for meeting today.
Hey Mark, thanks for coming over. I really appreciate you making the time today.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Mark Hairbrandt, Hamilton County Commissioner. This is a part-time position, so my regular job is I work in the water and the energy efficiency business, and I travel the state. I work with mayors, council members, commissioners throughout the state of Indiana.
Okay.
On energy and water efficiency type projects.
Yeah. And some of that I didn't know. That's really cool. Yeah. My name's Debra Jarvis, as you know, and I'm actually a retired fire chief now for the last 12, 13 years, leadership management consultant, and I teach at the National Fire Academy and kind of travel all over the country and help mostly in public safety. So this video that we're doing today is just kind of a little discussion about no negative campaigning. That was really kind of a really unique experience that you and I had when we ran in the November 2016 election.
Agreed.
So I ran for county commissioner against you, county commissioner, Hamilton County, 3rd District. So what do you remember about that, or how do you remember us meeting?
Well, what I recall is I had just came off of I just came off the election and the primary, and it was a very negative by my opponent campaign that was initiated, and I decided not to go negative. I just don't believe in it, and I don't see any value in it. I think that you should run on your merits and what you believe in, and then let the people decide.
Yeah.
So it was somewhat refreshing when I think that I met you up at the Hamilton County Northern Chamber meeting up in Cicero at Red Bridge, and I was given a presentation up there about a lot of the different projects that are going to impact those communities up there. And you were actually one of the people that were in the audience, and after the presentation you came up and said, "Hey, great presentation, and I'm Debra Jarvis, and I'm running against you as a commissioner, but I just want you to know that this is not personal at all," and I appreciated that.
Yeah. I really appreciated when I heard about the chamber meeting, and I quickly rescheduled all the stuff I was doing because I wanted to hear what the issues were for you, because I thought, well, if we're going to run against each other in the campaign, I need to know what he stands for. But I remember thinking, my gosh, this guy's done a lot of stuff, really good stuff for the northern part of Hamilton County, which is our district, and for the county as a whole. And I thought, man, what are the issues going to be? But I wanted to meet you, and I wanted to see what kind of person you were, and that's kind of how this all started. And then we decided to meet for coffee afterwards. You remember that?
I do. I remember that, and I remember you came to a commissioner meeting, and after the meeting, I walked down and introduced myself to, I think, someone that was running against one of the other commissioners, Steve Dellinger, Mimi, and then we got to talking, and he said, "Would you like to get together sometime and talk over coffee about some of the issues concerning Hamilton County?"
Yeah.
And we did that, and I thought it was a great conversation that we had.
Yeah, and I remember that council meeting thinking, I wonder if he'd just sit down and we could meet for coffee and kind of talk about maybe whatever the issues were and agree to no negative campaigning. But I had a lot of people telling me, "Oh, you don't want to do that," because I had mentioned that I wanted to, just have coffee with you sometime. And they said, "Oh my gosh, that's the opponent. Why would you do that?"
I tell you, I think that everything I did well before I did this, and if I don't do this, I'll do well. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, and I think people lose that perspective.
Right.
On it, and they kind of let some of this go to their head. And I did it really because I wanted to see if I could make a difference and try to help some of the citizens out there. And my first 6 months that I did this, I felt like I was drinking out of a fire hose. Just trying to meet people and understand the position. I knew a little bit about what I was getting into. I just didn't know that it was going to be at this level. But I will tell you that one of the most rewarding things that you can ever hear from somebody is the word thank you. And just hearing that word and seeing the difference and the impact that you made on somebody's life or the community, it gave me a different sense of pride that I've never had before. And I never thought that I would like public service the way that I do now. But again, you know, I didn't do this for any personal gain whatsoever. I just, you know, I'll serve the community the best that I can, and then, you know, God's got a plan for me, and it's probably not doing this the rest of my life, so I've got other things that I want to do too.
Yeah, I think that's really spectacular. I couldn't believe how many things you were doing when we sat and had coffee, and all the projects, and I thought, my goodness, you know, this is a true dedication, and I think we both have public servant hearts, having been a firefighter for 25 years.
No doubt.
And I was encouraged to run this time because just so there'd be some choice. You know, Hamilton
Agreed.
County tends to be supermajority county, and people didn't really have a choice, and so there were some issues that I thought were important, among which was the division between the council and the commission, and how that was all being played out that wasn't serving the citizens well. And your heart was to solve that problem too. And there were, you know, the State Road 37 project, the jail expansion, and where we both, I think, have the citizens' best interest at heart. It's just not always the same way of looking at that. And when you negative campaign, then people have to pick an enemy, and I don't think either that's the purpose of, you know, democracy. It's the purpose is for people to hear the different viewpoints and then choose. And when we do negative campaigning, it vilifies the opponent. And in fact, I had some people telling me that there were some villains, and I have found that to be not true. I think most of the people I've met that are public elected officials have a heart for serving the people, as I do, and I just want to do what's going to help the county from now on. Now, you and I agreed to no negative campaigning, but we also talked about meeting afterwards to see, no matter who won, to see how we could help each other, and we've continued to have a couple meetings after the election. And what are your thoughts about that?
You know, first of all, you brought up some great points in regards to whether you're Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, you know, whatever you represent. You know, when I took over this position, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're Republican or Democrat. You know, we serve the citizens here. And so, you know, I want to hear the opinions of everybody here, because I think that when I know how somebody feels about a certain position, you know, it gives me another perspective to think about, and helps me make what I feel is the best decision. Sometimes it's not what people want to hear or do, but that's just part of the position, and so forth. But in regards to meeting you afterwards, I think that, you know, one thing that I got out of our first meeting is I could tell that you were a very faith-based person, as well as I am. I could sense that, and I could see that you were out for the good and not, you know, doing this for your own self. You were out there really as a public servant, and I could see that, I could feel that, and you know, I like to be around those types of people. So, and we can have agreements and disagreements on issues, but we can still be friends. So, but no, I did that, and I want to continue to do it because I think that I want to learn more about what your strengths are, I think that you could be very helpful to a lot of the citizens here in the community, and it's finding out what those strengths are and what you really feel passionate about. That whether it's an appointment that may be able to help you in a position or introduce you to somebody that you can get involved in the community and make a difference.
Oh gosh, Mark, I really appreciate that, because I've got a public servant heart, and
I can tell. Yeah.
The faith-based part is so important.
Right.
At first I thought, well, this is such a nice guy, I really don't want to run against him, even though we were already running against each other. But God does have a plan, and sometimes there's divine appointments if we're open to listening to those kinds of things. So
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
So I just wanted to thank you for agreeing to meet and talk to me about this today. And I just want people to know that it is possible to do no negative campaigning, and that our system of governance in this country could be jeopardized by all the negativity that's going on, because when it's polarized, people don't hear each other anymore. They just make somebody wrong instead of figuring out what do we have in common and what are the things that we can work on together to make the county and the state and the country a better place. And
that's what it's about. It's about collaboration, working together, to solve the problem.
Yeah. Well, Mark, thank you, and I really appreciate you meeting today. I know you have a busy schedule with your job and being a commissioner and doing all those things. So
it gets crazy.
Yeah. Thanks for your public servant heart too.
Thank you. Thanks for coming today.
Thanks.
So.